Houston Chronicle, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is the Houston Chronicle. How do you hear me?
Hello, Houston Chronicle. Space Station hears you loud and clear.
That's great. Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing?
Hey, good morning down there. We're doing good up here. It's been a great day.
Great. I wanted to ask you what it was like to conduct those 2 spacewalks right before Christmas. So were you guys happy to work over the holidays?
Well, it was a very busy time after the failure occurred and we started preparing for those spacewalks. We were very, very busy, so we really didn't have much time to celebrate the holidays, but we were very happy to do these spacewalks. They were very challenging, very difficult to prepare for, but of course they're also very exciting, and we enjoy doing them because we train so hard to prepare for them, so we always like to execute what we train for. So it did take a little bit away from our holidays, but I think it was worth the trade.
Were you still able to celebrate on Christmas Day with your colleagues there on station?
Yes, we were actually. It worked out fantastic in that regard. We got everything done on Christmas Eve, and on Christmas Day we were able to relax a little bit, have a little bit of time off, and we did in fact celebrate here on station, and had the chance to call family and friends as well.
That's great. Now, I know that some of the science labs were taken offline when there was a cooling issue. Is everything back and running at full capacity in terms of research now?
Yeah, absolutely. We are back at full capacity. Science is going strong. In fact, we've had a lot of science going on today, and a lot came up with the Cygnus vehicle that just docked on Sunday. So, yeah, science is full go right now.
That's great to hear. About how many hours do you guys get to spend, say, in a given week working on research?
Oh, that's a difficult number to say. The NASA folks on the ground track it, I think, 35 or 40 hours, something like that. But, there's that's a pure research number. I think there's a little bit more time that we spend preparing for the different experiments and tearing them down, so I'm not exactly how it's measured.
Speaking of the station itself, I know obviously it's fully completed, but you're living up there now. If there could be one improvement on the station, what would you like to see? Would it be more space to live and work, more people, better food, a laundromat? I mean, what would be one thing that would improve your quality of life up there?
Yeah, those are all good suggestions. I would say the best way to improve the space station would be to have more manned vehicles flying back and forth between the station. That would bring about the most improvements. I guess after that it would be probably the food and maybe a shower.
Why would more vehicles help? Just to have some redundancy in the system, or you could get people up and down more frequently, or what?
I think all of the above. Yeah, you could be bringing more folks up and down. You'd have more opportunities to take science back down too. I mean, we collect a lot of samples, a lot of specimens. After we complete a lot of science experiments, they get stored until there's an opportunity to bring them down to the ground. So again, if you had those more frequent manned trips up here, you'd have a lot of opportunities to bring science back down as well.
I see. Now, you guys do a lot of these. You talk to the media, you talk to kids, you talk to dignitaries. What's one question that you guys wish people would ask but they never do?
I don't know. We've heard quite a few of them. I did have one question that was asked to me, and I've only heard it once, and I really liked it. And it was, tell us one thing about the space station that you wouldn't know about it unless you've actually been there. And I thought that was just an absolutely fantastic question.
And what's the answer?
I thought you were going to ask me that. So the answer I felt like was when you first get up here and you start to live on station, you realize what an absolutely fantastic machine it is, and actually it has a sense of almost as if it's alive. There's always something happening. It's constantly going 24 hours a day. Even when we're resting, you can still hear the station as all the life support systems and everything just keep working. And so you kind of get that sense of the heartbeat of the station, and that I don't think you can really appreciate unless you've been here.
I see. Now, Mike, I wanted to ask you, how are your workouts going in space? What are you able to do up there? What are you not able to do? And what do you miss in terms of being able to work out here on Earth?
Yeah, actually, the workouts up here are very, very, very good. I'm very pleased with what we're able to do up here. If I missed anything, it would be just being able to go for a long run outside and have a little bit of the change of scenery as opposed to just running on a treadmill. But we've got the weight machine up here, and we're able to do just about everything that we can do down on Earth in terms of squats and deadlifts and bench press. So a lot of that core lifting, a lot of those types of activities we're able to do. The exercise bike and the T2, which is our treadmill, both of those are absolutely fantastic for the cardio side of things as well. So very pleased with the workouts, and we do about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. So we spend a lot of time on them.
You're obviously well in tune with your body. I mean, just from that standpoint and not from metrics or measurements, do you feel like, in terms of your ability to lift weights, you're losing muscle mass, or do you feel like you're able to maintain it? How does it feel when you sort of test yourself?
Yeah, actually, I feel fantastic. I feel like I'm probably in some of the best shape I've ever been because on the Earth, I don't have the opportunity on my schedule, guaranteed 2 hours every day to work out. So I've been very pleased with that. And so I do feel pretty good about where I stand on my weightlifting, where I stand with being able to run and ride the bike as well. I think it's a great system up here.
Well, it's too bad you guys aren't down here this week. Obviously, we don't have a great view, but the weather here in Houston's been fantastic. You're missing out some good months to be working out outside. Here's a question I got from a reader that I thought was interesting. If you had to choose a partner in case of an emergency up there, would you rather have George Clooney or Sandra Bullock?
Well, I guess it depends on the emergency. But not really knowing either one of their skills, we'd have to lean towards Sandra Bullock.
Very good. So you guys have been on station for a few months now. As you sort of look to your ultimate goal as astronauts or career missions, is this it, or do you guys look to what NASA is planning 5, 10, or 15 years down the road and hope to be involved in, some deep space travel missions?
Okay, well, this is Rick. I'll try to answer first, and then we'll let Mike answer. I've been doing this for, 15 years, 16 years or so. So it's been a while, and this is my fourth mission. I do hope to get involved after this mission's over, get involved with future spacecraft like Orion or some of these commercial vehicles in some way, either to help design them and even maybe to fly them if I'm able to. So we'll have to just wait and see, but I'm interested in hearing what Mike has to say.
Yeah, actually, I'm having the time of my life. This is absolutely fantastic. It's everything I would hoped it would be, and so I would love to be able to fly again. I feel very blessed to have this opportunity to fly, but of course we're going to wait and see. There's a lot of other people that are in line to get up here as well and to fly any future vehicles. So if I get that opportunity, I'll certainly seize on it, but if it doesn't happen as well, I'm very pleased with the opportunity I have had.
Well, guys, we all watched as you did the great work over the holidays, and appreciate you doing it. So, and thank you for the time today.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was great talking with you.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the Houston Chronicle portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from Sirius XM Radio's Politics of the United States.
We have a window of opportunity. We wanted to take advantage of it, and we are going to take you aboard the International Space Station. It's Expedition 38. Flight engineers Michael Hopkins and Rick Mastracchio of NASA are joining us here on POTUS. So, yes, you are talking to people who are up there, if you will. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. And let me start with you, Michael Hopkins. What's it like, first of all, and how's your mission going? And tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us, and everything is going really well. We're very excited about the opportunity to be up here, of course, And we've had a few exciting events in the mission so far. Of course, we had a couple of EVAs in December, and then we just recently had the arrival of the Orbital 1 vehicle, the Gordon Fullerton vehicle, which brought a bunch of new science and supplies up. So that was also very exciting. So it's been very busy here in the last couple months in particular, and our daily routine now is we keep maintaining the station, and we're doing a lot of science.
Thank you. I should have called you a colonel, of course, and I appreciate you joining us. Rick Mastracchio, this is, I guess, the fourth in outer space for you. Is that right? And does it ever change? Is the excitement still there for you?
Yeah, this is my fourth mission up here, but the first three were only 2-week missions on board the space shuttle. So this time I'm actually living up here on the space station, so it's quite a bit different. And but it's still very exciting for me.
Rick, let me ask you, today we heard some Academy Awards nominated, and I just got to ask you, have either one of you, and I'll ask you first, Rick, have either one of you seen Gravity?
Yeah, Mike has not seen it, but just before I launched in November, I think it was sometime in October, we were in Moscow. We went to a Moscow theater and did watch the movie Gravity.
Any reviews for us?
Well, I'd have to say it was very entertaining. It didn't always obey the laws of physics, but it was absolutely entertaining movie, and I enjoyed it.
I appreciate the comment on that. Let's go back to you, Colonel Hopkins. Once again, we are talking live on the International Space Station here on POTUS, and I'm wondering, give us a sense of when you're out and you've had to do some missions outside of the space station. And just, I don't know if there's a way to put it into words, but for those of us who've never had that experience, how can you relate that to us?
Yeah, I think one of the easiest ways to relate is the most intense thing I've ever done. You're very excited, but you're also very focused while you're doing it because obviously there's risks while you're out there. You've got these incredible views of the planet that are unobstructed by any windows or anything like that. So it's just breathtaking, but at the same time, you're constantly having to think about what you're doing, making sure that you've got all your tools attached to you or attached to station, that you're attached to station, and so you constantly have that on your mind as well. And so it's just an extremely intense time, but it's also a very rewarding and very exciting time.
And I know that, Rick, you're really a scientist. Can you give us a sense of how different it is doing things that are, scientific, either experiments or procedures in outer space, in a zero gravity, and especially outside of the craft when it comes to, the fact that you're working obviously in a vacuum? Just what's the nature of science in space?
Well, there's a lot of different ways to answer that question. First of all, being up here in a micro-G or a zero-gravity environment, if you will, things are quite a bit different. Some of the things that are very hard on the planet Earth, lifting up an 800-pound mass on the planet Earth is obviously very difficult up here. We could do that with one hand. But then the simple things up here are very difficult. Like Mike said, just using a tool, and you want to put that tool down somewhere, you can't. You have to attach it with a tether, or you have to Velcro it someplace. So the little things become hard, but some of the impossible things become easy up here. So it's kind of interesting how that works.
Rick, I know you're the first to come home. You will be, and I'm wondering what's the first thing you want to do when you get back to Earth?
Actually, Mike will be landing about 8 weeks before me, but the first thing, of course, I want to do is to see my family. Second thing, of course, will be to eat just about every food that I haven't had up here.
And I'm sorry, I mixed it up. I thought, Colonel Hopkins, you're obviously coming back first, but you'll be back, I guess, you're going to be back in time for the Olympics, are you not?
No, actually, I'll be up here for the Olympics, and then right after that, early March, the second week of March is when we're returning. So only 8 weeks to go, and it's incredible how fast it's gone.
Is that so? I'm getting all my facts wrong, so don't mind me if at all. If I I'm being crazy here, but I would like to know though, when it comes to the Olympics, obviously this is a joint project, the United States and Russia, and I'm wondering if there's any kind of discussion, anything about rivalries involved.
Yeah, actually, it's more than just Russia and the U.S. We also have our European partners, our Canadian partners, and our Japanese partners, and there's a lot of similarities between what's happening here on the International Space Station and the Olympics. It's a great opportunity, and it really shows the world what can happen when you have such international cooperation. In terms of rivalry, well, I think certainly if the hockey teams should meet up, there's going to be maybe a little side bet on that.
Well, as Rick mentioned, too, maybe if you could lift the 800-pound weights from outer space, that would help you out if you guys were able to compete, but I don't think they're going to allow that. So Rick Mastracchio and Michael Hopkins, Colonel Michael Hopkins, Colonel from the U.S. Air Force, I appreciate your spending time with us. Best of luck and Godspeed. Safe return to Earth.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
All right. An opportunity to catch up.
Safe return.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.